Hey guys, welcome back to TankGarage. My name is Frank and I will be the man behind the camera. Back behind the camera, guys, after quite a lot of videos on MechScar. Hopefully you guys enjoyed those. Yeah, you guys saw that I purchased a new Volvo, which is sitting right behind me here. If you guys haven't seen the reveal video, the link will be down in the description below. We finally got, guys, a Volvo red brick. A red brick. We called her Red Brick. She is a Redblock brick. She's red, and she's not running right now. Why do I keep getting more project car, guys? I really don't know why. I do these mistakes over and over and over again, but hey, at least it makes for some content for you guys, and I promise, guys, that this summer I will try to elevate the content as much as possible. I know some of the videos on the channel are maybe not the most modifications, and the fact that we were saying that we were going to do crazy builds maybe hasn't been coming to fruition for the last few years. I think the V8 is a pretty cool build, but other than that, we still got to keep going and try to grow the social medias even more. Huge thank you, by the way, to TikTok and Instagram, guys. We've officially hit 25,000 followers on Instagram. So if you guys haven't followed us yet, just go down in the description below. So this little bad boy right here doesn't run, and yeah, I tried to do some diagnostic away from the camera, I should say. Took the dash apart the other day, checked all of the sutures, sutters, I don't know, whatever that thing is called. You guys can see the tools here. The dash is apart. I put the dash back in just to check everything out, and there is a good possibility that the alternator is bad. Let me just lower this real quick. There's a very, very good possibility the alternator is bad because of the fact that the car is not charging. Well, technically the alternator is not charging the battery at idle. Put in a brand new battery the day that I went to buy the car, drove the car back home, did fine. The next day, for 2-3 days, it actually did not start back up. So I went to buy a new battery, installed the new battery on the car, and the car still didn't start. So at that point, I was kind of frustrated, and I started taking things apart and looking, and the car actually did start, but now it has some horrible misfiring at idle, which could indicate, and did indicate in the end, that the alternator wasn't charging the battery at idle. As soon as I get on the throttle though and start giving it some gas, it charges. So now we ordered an alternator, sorry, a Bosch alternator, 100 amps, just like the one that's in this car since it's a GL. And today we're gonna install it together. Hopefully you guys enjoy. Before the video starts, make sure you like, subscribe, and turn on post notifications so you don't miss any uploads from TankGarage. All right, so let's get this show on the road. Hopefully we can fix my bricked up 940. So this is not a turbo model like you guys seen in the reveal video. This is a GL, so it's the NA B23 engine. Is that the 230 FT? I'm not sure. There's a bunch of new parts on the car, but yeah, we gotta figure out what's wrong with her. So the alternator, which is sitting right here, is still the original. Let me just put this back up. Volvo Denso 100 amps. I checked the exciter cable. It looks pretty good in the back, and the ground wire also looks pretty good. Everything looks to be grounded off properly, but it's not charging the car at idle, which is a pretty big problem, since, yeah, I mean, the alternator does look pretty dirty on the inside. If you guys can see that, there's a very good possibility and chance that the alternator actually went bad, and is starting to die out. Like you guys can see, I'll show you the belt. Let's just raise this up a bit. The belt is ever so slightly loose, but I don't think that would be a cause. It's still pretty tight. It's not like it's dangling around, and there is also some leaking over here, and I believe that is the power steering. Anyways, I have to get to that. More and more issues the more you look at an old car, right? So anyways, let's get to work. I'll throw you guys onto the tripod. I'll start undoing the alternator. It's not too complicated, but it still works, and we still got to do it. So let's undo the battery first, and then let's start working on the alternator. See you guys on the tripod. So step number one, like I said, guys, so I removed both nodes off, well, both contact points of the battery. So we got the positive on the left side, on your left side, and the negative on the right side right here. So now what we're gonna do, I'm just gonna move you guys over here. Let's see how I can do this and you guys can see properly. I think without being too much in my way, this is going to be the best angle. So now, for the alternator, from what I've seen, I've looked at a little bit of videos online, because like you guys know, this is actually my first brick. So you're gonna have one big boy right here, which should be a 13 millimeter on both sides. Some people online said it was a 13 and a 12. I think in my case it's a 13-13. So we're gonna go ahead and remove those two, which is gonna permit us to rotate the assembly backwards. And then from what I've seen, there's another one right down here. I'm not sure if you guys could see that. Let's see if I could zoom in a bit. Whoa, I nearly broke my camera. Give me a minute, guys. Just gonna raise the luminosity a little bit for you guys. So right down here, we're gonna have an extra right over here, and then you have the top right here, which should allow us to remove the belt. We're pretty much going to twist it back into position. So we're going to twist it out this way. So we're going to rotate it and twist it out. What we could also do is loosen down pretty much the set screw to tighten the tensioner screw, I should have said. So it's located on the right side right here, and then this is the screw that you need to loosen in order to move the tensioner. So once you've loosened that screw, everything should just come right out. It's a nut. I'm sorry, it is not a screw. So let's get to work. Let's get to doing that. The alternator looks really, really old. So, I mean, it still says Volvo on it. So I believe this is still the original alternator. This could have cost my issue. Did it? We'll only know once we get the new one in. Let's get to work. I've went ahead and loosened the screw. As you guys can see, this is what a really, really, really slack belt looks like. So everything is in place. Can you guys see that actually? I'm not sure if you guys could see it. Anyways, it's kind of hard filming by myself on the tripod when the sun is in your eyes. So we're gonna have that loosen. Now we're gonna tack this top bolt right here. I had the bottom bolt here as well loosened. So a 10 mil and a 13 mil from what I've seen yet is what you guys will need to do this job. Just be careful, don't forget you have a ground wire going to the back. You also have the positive wire that's going on the back right here. So just be careful not to rip anything out. Also, you have a coolant line right here going to the engine. Okay, that's cold. That's good. Alrighty, let's get to work. No joke, guys, this is the absolute longest bolt in the history of the channel that I've ever had to remove. Look at this. Look at this freaking massive monster, dude. It's bigger than my hand. It's literally bigger than my hand. So we got that one out. Like you guys can see now, she's a little loose like that. So we're gonna be able to push her up and then remove the belt pretty much from the side like that. Just like that. So now the belt is hanging right here. Make sure you remember, it's always on the front side. There's two sides to this. So this one pretty much won't do anything because you'll be rubber on metal, which will probably destroy your belt. But then you have rubber on rubber right here. So this bolt comes out. Don't forget there's also a nut at the end of the bolt. So that's the way the bolt goes in right here. And then you have a nut right here. I'm just gonna go ahead and change the battery on my camera because I think it's dying. All right, brand new battery in. So just so you guys could see it a bit more visually, this is the bolt right here. And that right here is the nut that goes on the very end. So make sure you're holding down the nut while you're loosening the bolt. And once you have the contact removed from pretty much the contact area, which is right here, then you could just go ahead and unscrew the nut and you'll be able to just wiggle the bolt out. It is a little hard. Look at your bushings here. My bushings look perfectly fine. Get your belt off and then let's see if you guys can see it. This is what I was talking about. So you have a plastic on rubber contact, or here you're gonna have a metal. I don't know, I don't think someone can confuse that, but I've seen videos online of people confusing those, which is, I mean, I would understand, just look at it. So yeah, now you have that bottom bolt right here that will need to be removed, and then once that nut is out, you'll be free to remove the alternator. Don't forget, everything is connected to the back, so just push it forward here, remove all your connections, and take it out. All right, so I've got the little cap off of the back. To give you guys a little tip, if you want to do this on yours, you have to remove, so you have the tensioner screw at the bottom. When you guys look at your car, you're gonna understand. So this is the top mounting point, and then at the bottom, you're gonna have another mounting point. So you're gonna have a nut about right here, and then your set screw for pretty much where you want the alternator to sit at on the rail is gonna be down like this. So it's not this bolt, but let's imagine it's this bolt. So that goes down like that, and then you have a nut right here with another bolt that's pretty much locking that one in place. What you want to do is remove the nut over here. So you want to hold down on that one and remove the nut. Once the nut is off, you can pretty much slide the alternator out of where it's sitting. And now you have easy access to the back of it. Disconnect, of course, make sure that the battery is disconnected first. You don't want to start messing up stuff. But yeah, disconnect this, and then we're gonna have the ground, which is at the bottom, looks like to be an 8mm to me. And this right here should be a 13 if I'm not mistaken. Let's see. Yep, that's a 13. All right, so gonna go ahead and remove it. It is kind of a weird place. I hope it's not too tight because nothing is holding it, so I'll have to hold it myself. But I'm pretty sure this is the original alternator. From the look of the metal and the surface for the mounting point, they look about the same, and I believe these are both in aluminum. So yeah, let's go and let's remove that and cross our fingers, guys. Please, please, please cross your fingers for me that this is my issue, because I'm gonna go crazy if it's not. So we've got everything off. Make sure that you remove your ground wire. So this is going to be your ground wire right here. I'm going to test the connection, see if everything is good. This is going to be, yeah, this is going to be the positive, and then you have the exciter, which is connected inside of the positive. I might have to test the exciter to see if that's actually the issue. But once I do install the new alternator, we'll start the car and we'll see. I'll probably have to put a booster pack on it, because I was diagnosing the other day and I think I got the battery pretty low. Let me, my hands are disgusting right now, but gotta do it for you guys, right? Just to show you guys what I was talking about earlier. So, whoops, that's not what I wanted to raise. Right here, as you guys can see. So this is the set screw right here that I was talking about, and this pretty much portion determines where the alternator is sitting, and also with this screw determines how tight the belt is. So the looser on the left and the tighter on the right. So that's what I was talking to you guys. See how it's threaded in this one? You want to take the nut from here out, so that after that you could remove the alternator. I'm talking about the culprit here. Let's see. Yeah, that's very, very rusted. I mean, I don't hear any noises, any weird sounds, but it does look like the brushes inside are they making contact? I'm not sure. I mean, I might have fun and take this apart and check what actually went wrong with this, but basically on these models, the brushes are integrated inside of the alternator from what I'm seeing. On other models, let me put this sideways, you guys are gonna have two screws right here. So right here, you guys see this little thing? This is where the brushes are sitting inside. So on other models, I believe it's on the 80 amp model, you're gonna have two screws on each side. I've done quite a lot of research on this because I really wanted to figure out this issue, but it could also be a bad connection with the exciter cable, which goes right in here. Positive, exciter, and then you're gonna have right down here, I believe this is gonna be your ground cable. So let's put that off to the side and let's go and grab the new one, which is just being chilling in the box right here. Bosch OEM refurbished, I believe, or remad. Anyways, let's get this one installed. So here is the new to us. Of course, you have all of the warning. Everything looks nice and good. Look at the inside. And one thing I wanted to show you guys is the difference. Look at this when I turn it. See how easily it turns? If I give it a bit more juice, it just keeps on spinning. I think the bearing inside of the old one might have actually gone bad, because if you guys look at this one, which is my old one, with the same amount of force, see how it, you can pretty much hear it. You hear the bearing making contact. So maybe the rubber part of the bearing was not, I don't know. I'm just hypothetically saying stuff here, but it could be a lot of things. It could be a ton of things, but we're just gonna replace it and see what happens. So now I've got all of the cables plugged back in. I'm just gonna go ahead and give them a little tight, not too tight. You wanna make sure that the contact areas are nice. I think this should solve my issue. I'm really gonna hope, but all I have to do now is the ground 8mm nut. So from what I've seen, 10 mil, 13 mil, 8 mil. On my side of the work is all of the sized heads or wrenches or ratcheting wrenches or whatever you guys want to use to put it back on. Don't forget to put the exciter back on. And I don't know, this might be just me, but when I did click the exciter back on, it did do a clicking sound as the connection was properly made. When with the old one, the only way for me to know that it was fully in was to pull on it and to see how tight it was. So I don't know, might have been that, might have been so many things. It could have been the bad bearing inside, it could have been a bad set of brushes inside, and it could also be something else, but let's just hope it's not, because yeah, I want to see this car running, guys. I want to do B-rolls with this. I want to do a whole lot of stuff with this. So all right, let's plug that back in. 5 minutes later, everything is back on. We're gonna test the pulley. So when you put it back, guys, of course, make sure that you set everything in place. Tighten the top bolt, but not too much, just so you have a little bit of wiggle room to move the alternator up. Pretty much you want to hold the alternator up, so I would pull on this side right here and tighten the set screw on the side all the way until it's seated, and then you'll see that the belt will hold by itself. then all you have to do is tighten it, tighten it, tighten it all the way until the belt is nice and tight. It's normal to have a little bit of play in it, but you don't want to have too much, and I think the way I tightened it right now is pretty much good. Then don't forget the tightening screw at the bottom, so pretty much the nut that goes into the set screw, that's what locks it in place and makes sure that that belt won't come loose over time. Now all I have to do is to torque down on this bad boy right here. Actually, ooh, I think I got it stuck. I got it. I'm gonna go ahead and hold this side, and we're gonna go in the back here, and we are going to torque this bad boy down. Make sure that it's nice and tight. Doesn't need to be too tight, just to make sure that, see, I'm moving the entire engine while moving the alternator, which is what you want. Pretty much, it's not going anywhere, and that belt is good. Now, final last checkup, make sure that all of the connections in the back are good. My exciter cable's on. My ground wire is also on and is connected to the back right here, which looks to be pretty clean. I've put my little cap back on just right here, and the belt is nice and tight. Last thing I got to do is plug the battery back, guys, and please with me, if you guys could take literally 2 seconds if you've made it this far in the video. I know this is a longer video for a simple install, but I want to share you guys my experience with this car, and please take the time in the comments and just say, please do not have the charging issue anymore. Let's hope. Pretty much everything now in the electrical system except the wires are new, and the wires all look good, so let's just hope. Let's plug the battery back on and cross our fingers. So everything's back in, like you guys could see. The alternator, the belt is nice and tight. Exciter cable, which is, let's just raise this up a bit. This little red wire right here is the exciter cable. We've got the positive and the negative, which is right down here. Everything is connected. Now we're gonna move over to this side right here. Positive and negative are connected. Everything is good. I did not get a spark though, which kind of indicates me that the battery might be really, really low. I have a booster pack downstairs, worst case, but let's give it a shot. I'll have Carl outside help me start it, and we'll see if she runs. You guys see this face right here? That's the face of defeat. That's the face of a very bad financial decision that I did purchasing this car. Thank God it wasn't that expensive, but I could have bought a freaking crazy set of wheels for the XC70. I could have bought the clutch for the S60R. Could have done a lot of things instead of buying this car, and I think we've discovered something a bit more. I am totally the person to blame here. I am the one that did not check the car properly. I let emotions get ahead of smartness and realistic and critical thinking, because I've always wanted to get a brick. I've always wanted to have a Redblock, and these don't come often around here in a pretty good, decent, I'd say, physical shape like this without any rust. But yeah. So I don't know what I'm gonna do next. The issue now is I've found, let me show you guys. I have found a parts box that was hidden in the trunk. Well, hidden. It was in the trunk. And yeah, that's an ECU, 2 fuel pumps, a belt. This is the Regina system, if I'm not mistaken. You have spark plugs, you have coils or coil packs or whatever they're called back in those years. You have the fuel actuator, fuel rail actuator, or whatever you want to call it. There's some boost lines. There's literally every single thing that a logical mechanic would do when trying to diagnose an issue. And they've gone through everything. It runs rough. There's a fueling issue. 100% it's a fueling issue. Electrical is all sorted out. Electrical is good. The battery charges, but the car runs so rough. I think there's like no fuel getting to the engine. And that's not good. That's really not good. We took the cap off of the fuel rail and we tested the pressure. There's like 3 droplets, and I'm not even joking, guys. You can see it right around here. Right there, that's the nipple. There's 3 droplets of gas that came out. 3. So then we went, oh, it's probably the fuel pump. And then I'm like, hey, I just remembered the guy said there was a couple of parts in the trunk, a couple. of parts in the trunk. So I opened the trunk and I'm like, hey, let's see if they changed the fuel pump. Yeah, they did. Not once, twice. They changed the Regina system, the computer or whatever that is. They've changed freaking everything. And it still runs rough. Even under load. It's not as rough, but it's still rough. I don't know what to do. I'm gonna put you guys back on the track. But this is gonna be a weird video, guys. This is gonna be like, this is not as usual like we do the nice, the fun, the exciting, the happy Frank. This is I'm just gonna raise this a bit. This is the face of defeat. This is a face of sadness because instead of investing that money or using it to further my builds and make my builds even nicer, I've dumped it in a shit box. A lemon. All of the above. And I'm not mechanically inclined enough yet, I think, to figure it out on my own. I still have a long way to go, mechanically wise, but I've gotten better, and I think you guys have seen it through the years of working on these cars, and I do want to get way better than what I am right now, but yeah, I'm defeated, guys. I might say this might be the end of the red brick. I mean, I still have to register the car. The car is still registered to the old owner's name because I couldn't get the car appraised. Because you need to get it appraised here in Quebec when the car's 25 years and older by a classic cars appraiser before you can get there and register the car. So the car's still not even under my name. Yeah, it's insured, yeah, everything, but I'm yeah. Did the old owner know all of this and didn't tell me? Probably. There's a very good chance. There's a very good chance I got scammed. Am I going to do anything about it? I don't think it's worth my time. I'm blessed to have a good job that pays very well and that can fulfill this dream of mine of always building cars and having unique cars that people don't usually look at. But yeah, I don't know, guys. I really don't know. Carl's helping me out, but at some point it's just, you know, like there's just so much you could do. There's just so much you could do. There's a parts bin with literally every single option. I didn't go through every single one of them, but from what it seems like, there's a lot. There's really a lot. So 2 options: tow the car to an appraiser, have the car appraised, tow the car back, plate the car, sell the car, take a loss, probably lose around $1,000 easily. I think just for the shell I could sell this around $2 grand, $2 to $3 grand. I think for someone that knows these cars, and you know, I would be straightforward with him and tell him, listen, I paid the car $4 and there's all these issues. I just put $400 on the car, $300 alternator, and the actuator in the back of the alternator, the regular voltage regulator. And I'll be like, listen, the car doesn't run right now, and that's it. The car's plated, the car's good to go, but it doesn't run right. So I might do a post on the forums. I might hit up some buddies that I've made along the way to see what they think and what I should do. Because I know once it's fixed, it's gonna run right. But like, do I really want to go down that route of trying to fixing the car and trying to find what the issue is and dumping more money into this money pit that's already been a money pit since I've purchased it? Do I really want to go that route? Do I really want to do that? And now the issue above the issue, guys, right now is parking. I've got 5 cars. 5. C30 T5, the S60R, the S80V8, the XC70, and now this little brick. The brick's bricked, can't go anywhere, so she's got to be in the entrance. My girlfriend's car has also got to be in the entrance. My XC70 sitting at a park. My R and my V8, thank God, is in storage, so I don't have to worry about that. But that's just an overall logistical mess. I don't know what to do. If you guys have any idea, there's no fuel coming out of the fuel well, pretty much none. We've primed it 5 times. Key on, off, right? Second clicked. There's like 5 droplets of gas that came out, 5 droplets. So there's no fuel pressure getting there. The fuel filter is brand new. The fuel pump's brand new. All the lines look good. There's no fuel that's leaking anywhere because you don't, I mean, you would smell it and you would literally see it on the ground. The plugs are new. The coil packs are new. The injectors are new. I don't know, please DM me personally on Instagram or comment down below if you guys have made this far in this video, because it's probably gonna be like a 30-minute video for an alternator. Oh man. Thank you guys for watching. Thank you guys for supporting TankGarage, and if you guys have stuck all this way through the end of the video, I want to make a promise to you guys, and I want to tell you that this summer I'm going to do everything in my power to make this channel special. I'm going to do every single thing. It's not going to be easy. I have a life, I have a family, I have a job, but I'll make it work. I promise. I promise I will. This has been a dream of mine since I'm little, and I want to make it work. I really do. I really, really do. Thank you guys for your continuous support. Thank you guys for watching the video. Thank you guys for reaching this end of this monologue that's now 8 minutes long. But, yeah, I'll see you guys in the next video.